Oh, oh, and we're live. Hello, everyone.
Oh,
Welcome back to another Keepers React. The voice that you're hearing here. And we are live again. Sorry about that, guys. As we've mentioned before, there's a little bit of production behind these talks, and as we're testing things out, sometimes there are little bits of hiccups. So, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Keepers React here on Zoolife. Keepers React is our series where we show clips that have been taken by the community, aka all of you that are listening in right now, and not only watch it along with the keepers, but provide some commentary for it. And the fun part is so sorry guys, can you guys let us know in the chat if you can hear us, because we're not sure what's going on the production side of things, and we don't know if you can hear us or see us or anything like that. I do apologize, like I said earlier, if you heard me. um these are some experimental talks, so sometimes we have some technical difficulties that we need to work out as we go live. So if anybody is listening in the chat, that'd be great. If you guys could let us know if you can hear us okay, see us okay, and everything, because it's pretty important as we watch these clips. Thank you guys. So sorry for a little bit of flustered. three restarts of the talk, and it's like, uh-oh. So I will, for the sake of time, I will just very quickly introduce the talk. My name is Courtney Dunn. I'm the content operations manager. This talk series is known as Keepers React, and it's where we show video clips taken by all of you in the community to the keepers of those animals. And joining me here today, as you can see, I almost pointed below, but you guys are above me on Zoo Life. Are two keepers from the Santa Barbara Zoo. And although I could give them introductions, I think it's fun when people introduce themselves because it's in their style. So I'll let you guys both say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll just pretend people don't watch these talks, that this is their first time meeting you both.
you going first?
I guess I'm going first. So I'm Joe. We should introduce each other. So I'm Joe. I am one of the keepers here at Santa Barbara Zoo, and I think this is my third time doing this, and it's been really fun. So hopefully you enjoy it too.
My name is Katie. I'm also a keeper here at Santa Barbara Zoo. We both work with the Amur Leopards directly. So we're very excited to be here. This is only my second time. Last week, I unfortunately had a meeting that last minute was in place, so Joe held down the fort for us. But yeah, we're very happy to be here and excited to see what clips we have today.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? We'll go ahead and we'll just jump right into it. And as I mentioned, why these talks appear a little bit differently than some is we have to put a little bit of production in behind the scenes to get the clips, not only where us three can see it, but all of you can see it and you can hear all of us. So we'll just give our production a little bit of a chance to switch on over to our first reaction video. Oh, and there it is. Oh my gosh, the little jump. Oh, did she jump it? Oh, I'm like, at first I didn't even know what she got spooked by. I had to watch it that second time to kind of see.
It could have been a noise,
Ah,
It
but
does not take much to spook Miss Marta. It's absolutely adorable. I don't think I've ever seen this before.
yeah, I don't think I have.
no, I haven't either. There's a lot
It
of
also could have just been like the paper caught the side of her eye differently, and she was like, "Oh my goodness."
I've been there.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes like I mean, I even get scared in my own house. It's not that even that big of a place, but
Oh,
and I don't
100%.
rearrange things, but I'm just like, that's different. Like even last night, like my my chair is black and white, and I've been watching a lot of spooky films. And if you love horror movies, you've probably familiar with Ghostface from Scream, that is a white and black character. And in the middle of the night, I was like, it looked like somebody in the costume. I turned on my light. It's just my chair. So I completely understand.
Yeah,
Completely
I
understand with
I
that.
I purposefully do not partake in things like that so I don't look like Marta. I think to whatever she's reacting to, because my mind will run with it. So, but I had that this morning actually. I was turning a corner
Mhm.
and I thought a piece like a stick of bamboo was a bug, like something crawling towards me, and I just felt a heart attack. So I looked like Marta this morning. It definitely made me jump.
I
We
do
have a
like how
cut.
she walked away at the end, like,
Nothing happened.
no big deal.
No, I've noticed that's a good habit of hers. I say a good habit. It's a habit of hers that when she trips or is
Yeah,
clumsy or gets a little scared, that like she tries to play it off. I feel like a lot of cats do though, but I see it a
Yeah.
lot. I see it a lot with her for sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
And a comment in the chat says she's elegant even when she jumps. She is.
Yes. Luckily, she's a cat, so she lands on her feet.
Mm. And I think we've seen plenty of instances of that with well both of them, but a lot of Marta, especially when she was younger, when Joe and I were doing the last Keepers React and watching her be clumsy and jumping
Yeah.
around, like she, the phrase of like making a fool out of yourself. She does that pretty frequently when she was little, even now, but when she was little. But she always like somehow lands somewhat gracefully. It's like
I know. I know
that
Joe was
cat
telling me
instinct.
that you guys had some great clips last week, so I was really sad to miss it, but
Hmm.
excited to see what we have this week.
Exactly. And speaking of, what do we got up next, Aaron? Let's switch that one on over. Oh, I have some
That was very
stalking.
good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, goodness. So my
It's
favorite
so
part about
funny.
that is you see her creeping up, and then you see, I want to say it's Ajax that walks inside because she's just done with it. But as she's walking into Holdings, so that door that's open takes them into their back bedroom, and you can see Ajax's tail just goes straight up. Like, no, thank you, absolutely not. Um, Amur leopards and honestly cats in general, but they say a lot with their tails. I call them
Mhm.
talking tails. And so when she walks in and her tail is straight up, she is telling Marta, not not today. Did not enjoy that. No, thank you. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
Yeah.
they have some doors, not this one, but they have some doors and holdings that are manual doors. These two are hydraulic, but the manual doors will rattle whenever
Mm-hmm.
they whack them with their tail, just like
Yeah.
that. And it is definitely one of Marta's favorite things to do in the morning is
Yeah.
just saunter through holding, whacking every door with her tail, and
Yeah.
it is so loud.
Yeah.
Mm.
You can see the second that Ajax's tail goes up, Marta's like, okay, I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow. Okay, I'm tail's up, gotta go.
I always it's so funny, but I always refer to when cats do that with their tails or like when they're straight up and fluffy. I call it like squirrel tailing or squirrel tail.
Yeah.
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 And it's just funny because I know that the squirrels I not that this happens frequently, but I know that there were some clips before of like squirrels somewhere outside of the habitat. And,
Mhm.
so there are squirrels around these cameras, but when I say squirrel tail, I mean the cats themselves and the style
Yeah.
that it pops up. And before I forget about this question, we had a question come in the chat. It says, how come she doesn't hang out in her usual spot anymore? It's harder to find Marta these days. Well, I'll let the keepers fully explain, but part of that is because that's not Marta on the camera.
Yeah.
Surprise,
So
spooky
you're
Halloween.
right. Marta is very hard to see these days, and that's because she's actually no longer out on habitat with Ajax. So she turned 2 in August, and that's about the time that, out if they were wild Amur leopards out in the wild, they still are wild, but if they were not here at the zoo, they would have separated, and Marta would have moved on to go meet a male and find her own territory and things like that. So
Mm,
um, they were behaviorally telling us that they were at that point where separation was a good idea for them. So Marta is actually off just it's adjacent to the Ajax's habitat. So if you actually see Ajax at the side door that she's peeking through, that's where Marta is with her
mm,
own outdoor space and a couple of bedrooms. But that's why she's not in a normal spot, and that's why she's hard to see because she's no longer out there with Ajax. But Ajax has been a little bit harder to see as well because she's starting to lay at the very back of the habitat along the top rockwork. There's actually a planter up there that she fits in perfectly. And unfortunately, during the day, it's shaded. So that whole shaded back section is where she likes to lay. Yep, I see a
Yeah,
cursor
right up there.
right up there. So
Nice.
that would be a good spot to look for Ajax if you don't see her out on habitat, because it's nice and cool in that spot, and it's where she rests when she's not patrolling on days where she has a lot of patrolling. So
Mhm. Yeah,
that's
and
why.
I know a lot of people. Well, I feel like I don't know if it was like 3 weeks ago or so, but Ajax had a lot of interest in the direction that the Marta was. Not that there's, she doesn't all the time, but it was like you could really see it. And I know people were capturing like lots of clips, and they're like, "What's going
Yeah,
on over there?" And it's like, yeah, she's.
yeah.
Or I think the funny thing that I think Joe and I talked about last week was someone it was Ajax trying to sleep, and someone said like Ajax's
Yeah,
noisy neighbor is keeping her up, and I was like, that's her, it's her
it's
daughter.
her daughter.
Yeah, it's their daughter.
Understandable. Yeah. We got another question for the chat from Tamer. It says, "What behavior do they do to show they are ready for separation?"
It was so we saw them playing in the previous clip where they would kind of stalk each other and run at each other.
On each other.
And when we noticed when Ajax went inside, flicked up her tail, Marta walked away, they stopped walking away from each other. And I I think both Ajax seemed to us like she was getting a little fed up with Marta's games,
Mhm.
and Marta wasn't reading Ajax's intentions very well.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it was the
Yeah,
swatting stopped being playful. So
right. There was a
Mhm.
lot. Marta wanted to continue to play. Ajax was telling her, I'm not in the mood for that anymore. So there was a lot more teeth baring, like Joe said, swatting, and there was a lot less of like that respecting of space from one another. And so um, we felt that for the safety of both cats, it was, you know, she was at the right age. They
yeah,
were showing us, that they were testing each other's limits, and we didn't want to risk either one of them getting injured. Uh, so other than just like a small little nick or something from a swat. So
Yeah.
uh, it was just time, and that's what we were looking for.
Mhm.
There was also a lot less grooming. So you guys have been with us from the start. You probably noticed that Ajax would bathe Marta a lot of the time, and that stopped. So that grooming social behavior was no longer acceptable. And so we were also looking for things like that that would tell us that they wanted to be together and feed off of that information.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a
That was
lot
a
of
good
behavioral
question.
stuff because they can't use their words to us.
yeah.
Exactly. And we'll be moving on to this next one. I feel like it's funny. I just previewing some of the clip thumbnails. You guys can't see it on zoolife, but we can. I'm like, it's funny. I think some of these may be some of the behaviors, or not necessarily the like peak of needing separation behaviors, but I saw some grooming ones. I saw
Yeah.
one of more doors and such.
Yeah,
So it's funny. We may even have clips that show some of the things that you guys had talked about.
yeah.
And
We'll
speaking
point
of
those out
that.
too.
Yeah. We'll let Aaron go ahead and switch on over to this next. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Now that you guys can see it, I gave it away. I spoiled it by giggling for the crowd. Um I was
The,
giggling at the eyes.
the lack of reaction, the way that she just like climbs down like Spider-Man.
She's such a brat.
She is. I don't even work with her, but I can tell from the cameras.
I mean, and then like she jumps down, and you can tell immediately when she gets down to the ground, she pins her ears back
Yeah.
as if
Mhm.
Ajax is the problem.
Yeah.
Ajax is not the problem. Ajax, no,
It's as if she didn't just purposely
right?
drop down Spider-Man style in front of her mother.
Right? And she's kind of like annoyed that her mom is in the way, but you could see her
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
and ears pinned. Like, what is that?
Yeah, it's so funny. I think what really makes it for me, besides the Spider-Man crawling, like, upside down, is the eyes glowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, I know if I'll explain it first instead of assuming people know, but that's part of the reflective layer, and a lot of I say quote unquote nocturnal because obviously looking at Ajax right now, it's the middle of the day. So nocturnal or
Yeah, right.
crepuscular. Yeah. But it's a reflective layer to help cats and other animals like that take in more light at night so they can, it's kind of like their version of night vision in a way.
Mhm.
But it, to me, it looks like joking. It's like cartoonish anger. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they talk about eyes
Yeah.
glaring or something and your daughter's about to jump on you.
Yeah.
That's what it looks
Right.
like to me. Not the anthropomorphized, but that's like it's just a comedic thing that you see in a lot of
Yeah, and
cartoons, like Disney
it's
movies and
hard
stuff.
not,
Mhm.
it makes it a little bit more fun to kind of imagine what they're thinking or doing, and it's hard. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
Ajax reacts so well
I know.
to a leopard falling on her head, and she's so she's so over it. She's like, "Oh, you again."
It
Come on. Come
I'm
on.
guessing she's probably like she probably remembered where Marta roughly was, and then hearing Marta
Oh,
come down the wall, she's like, "Okay, she's above me," but it's like it's kind of going back to what we were talking about at the beginning. Like, you're used to your area, and then sometimes things make you jump or a little startled, so
mhm.
it's
Yes.
like it's startling. It's like you don't you expect your daughter is somewhere above you,
Right.
and
Well,
then she
that's kind
falls
of
upside down in front of you really fast.
it's funny because that's kind of a game we play with Ajax. So when we show up first thing in the morning, she will hide herself behind things that do not cover her whole body. So she'll hide just enough so her face is covered. So like
Mhm.
behind, like a metal pole or behind a couple leaves of bamboo. And we will literally walk in and be like, "Oh no, where's Ajax?" And she thinks that she is the slyest thing on the
Yeah.
planet. And and so I'm sure she had a again, not to anthropomorphize, but she probably had a little bit of that with Marta, like, "Oh no," "Oh,
Yeah.
you got me."
Yeah, you got me. Well,
Like,
Joe,
you
that
get to see
kinda as another flashback to last week, it's something that you were talking about too, is, like, ways that mother leopards or, like, Ajax teaches Marta, like, life skills and how to be a leopard is teaching her to stalk, even if it involves her
I'm sorry,
being stalked.
I'm sorry. I don't have a good
Oh, the
pose.
clip that came out, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so
It's
sorry.
it was very
Crazy like
cute.
it's exciting.
Yeah, and it's funny, if people looked closely enough, the reflection on my glasses would probably reveal if
I
someone was,
know.
like, trying to get an extra preview, because 'cause I'm looking right at the things that you guys can't see. So if you guys ever hear us make weird noises, it's because right before we go to switch things over, we
Yeah,
see it
I'm
getting set
sorry.
up.
The cute factor took my breath away for a
Yeah, but
second.
it looks
My
like
Joe
it
doesn't
looks
take me places because I don't have a poker a poker face.
I don't either. I'm very prone to laughing a lot. So, like, if something I can't keep secrets, and especially if it's a really funny one, I can't. It's
Mhm.
difficult. So I'm shaking your hand on that one, and I
Well, I
see
I gasp a lot,
yeah.
like I just did, and it scares him so much. Like, I'll gasp and I'll be like, "What's wrong?"
You're right.
"Nothing. Nothing's wrong." "Why'd you gasp?" I said, "Oh, because I just thought of something or I saw something."
Yeah.
Never an emergency, I just gasped.
Well, I'm
Like,
guessing Aaron on the production side of things is like, "You know what? For that, we saved that one for last because right now we have
probably. I
something."
don't
It's
know.
a
I
very
gotta
beautiful video, but not exactly the thing that we were gasping at for the audience,
no.
just so you know. But we'll go ahead go ahead and switch over to, uh, probably gonna be our second to last one, and, it's a really pretty view. Oh,
Oh,
I say
yeah,
really
there
pretty view, and then there we go. Oh
there's
god.
the example of,
What?
absolutely not.
Oh, that
Oh,
look.
I can only imagine that that's how parents with newborns feel.
Mhm.
Like, "I'm trying to sleep. Please don't wake me."
Well, and yeah, and in her reaction, it's very different than some of like, a lot of the other clips that we've watched of Marta jumping on her, where she's like, "Ooh," or, like, a little bit scared, like, that's that's that looks
That's
like
mad.
anger right there, yeah, she's like, "I'm
That's mad.
sleeping. I'm sleepy."
Yeah, that was I am not messing around. Do not do that.
I like how
And
Marta
so,
just
like,
disappears.
that's a good behavior of or a good example of the behavior we were seeing between the 2 of them,
Mm,
uh, except, you know, sometimes it would last a little bit longer, Marta wouldn't back off quite as fast, and so, you can see she shows her teeth and she grabs at her, and It was
Angry.
also very loud, and then the hissing, and so, that's the reality of when you have 2 adult any kind of cats together, and so we just really wanted to minimize any accidental injury, or non-accidental injury that could have happened because they were just
Getting to that point. Yeah.
getting to that point.
Yeah. And I feel like this is kind of it's hard to tell how big Marta is here, but I'm guessing it's towards closer to the separation, which is in stark contrast, I think. If I so I only saw a quick glance at the other video that you gasped at, but I think that was towards the beginning of
Yeah,
them being okay. Yeah, I was like, so very big contrast. And it's funny, like this video is a very silly one. It's a good one. I'm not saying it's not, but it's always fun.
Yeah.
I like ending on really, really, really cute, silly ones. And we have a special treat for the keepers as well for everybody watching to kind of wrap up on that we'll work on switching over here momentarily from Aaron.
Oh,
Oh my
gosh.
gosh. Yeah, yeah, seeing it again. I was like, "Oh, it's so cute." Uh-oh. Well, one moment, everybody. We'll get it back. It was so cute. We gasped it out of existence.
we did.
We made it
I know.
evaporate.
Oh, no.
We'll get it back. Well, I say we. Aaron will get it back. But guys, as we're working on getting that video up, as a note, thank you guys for tuning in to Keepers Reacts in general. This is our third one. We've been experimenting with this, and if you guys have really liked these talk formats, let us know in the chat right now. But also when the talk ends here in a few minutes, you see a little rating box pop up with some stars. There's nothing you have to type in. You literally just click it, and that is it. And that lets us know what you think about it. And for this one, something that I specifically want to ask for when you're rating it is just the talks in general. I know we had some technical issues today. Let your rating be less about that and more about just the format in general, since this is the last in our little experimental block of them. We'd love to know. And, oh, we already got a comment saying, "I want more." Good. I like doing these, so I want more too. If you guys like them, then I know I do.
Well, it's
They're
also kind of nice because it's a different format. I think
mm,
we have you on the other end that we get to interact with, which
mhm.
makes it a little bit, you know, I don't know. I don't want to say
It is.
easier, but it's just kind of nice to have you to bounce off of because normally when we do these, we're just watching the camera and looking at the comments that we get, and so to have you kind of to chat with about it and also just have fun watching videos that we haven't watched
Exactly.
either in a long time or ever is also really cool for us.
Well,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
kind
and
of activity too.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
sometimes Ajax just sleeps during our whole
right.
keeper talk, or
Mhm,
she has completely disappeared.
Yeah, she doesn't help us out at all. We're just
mm-mm.
stuck trying to find something fun to talk to you guys about.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes she's like, "Nah."
Yeah,
That's
not
but
feeling
that's very cat-like behavior. I feel like that's the most
oh yeah.
leopard thing that could happen during a leopard talk. To be honest, it's like
It's
on
like they
brand.
know. They know exactly when you're trying to do something, they know when you don't have time and you have to really get it done, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just take 500
Yeah,
years then." They always know.
Exactly.
They're one
Now,
step ahead all the time.
I do have some slightly sad news. I say sad news, disappointing news. The other video that we gasped at is having some issues, so we will not see it right now. But we do have one more clip that looks kind of silly, not as awe or gasp worthy. That video, and just to clarify, that clip still exists for everybody, including the keepers. Are like, no, we want to say it does exist. It's not gone out of existence. Just having issues loading during the talk right now. But we're gonna play a last clip here, and then we'll get ready to wrap up. So, Aaron, go ahead on and switch on over. Which it takes a little bit. I need to put Jeopardy music on the soundboard so I can like play it as we wait on switching over. Oh, looks like we're
Right?
having some issues with the remaining of the videos right now, but that's all good. While we're seeing if that was our last clip in general, does anybody have any questions for us in the chat? I know you guys are busy watching the activity on the camera, which is good. Once again, it's like sometimes nothing happens on the cameras, and that's something that I think is great about zoo life in terms of like teaching people about all the animals is that like they're not continuously active all the time. Oh, what is Ajax eating?
She got a really large knuckle bone today with a ton of meat on it. They were large and in charge, so we put that out for her today, and so she'll probably be working on that for a while. It was big.
It looks
That's
it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think it was a knuckle bone.
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, they're ginormous right now.
Big
So
one.
yeah, so she'll probably work on it throughout the day, honestly.
Kat says it looks really yummy in the chat.
I mean, I would imagine if you're a leopard, it was delicious. It was probably like eating on Thanksgiving. It was
Probably,
huge.
yeah.
It was huge.
A nice little treat.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
well, it does look like that last video. I hyped up some of the others too much, and that's what I get. Though we were joking in between this being live to all of you that there were it's Halloween, so we jinx things, and that's what I get. I brought it upon us. It's all it's me and Halloween together. That's why she
Be
went
honest,
into hiding. Yeah.
there's a
um.
you might be saving the day.
Oh, we might have that video coming up momentarily, guys. Sorry for the flip flopping.
It's working the magic behind the scenes.
Working magic behind the scenes to get this going. Possibly.
I went
And
to
you guys,
everybody else. I'm like, I want to see it.
yeah. Right. So we'll just, this is me stalling for time as the magic continues behind the scenes on getting this video to be up and going.
We could all count the spots on Ajax while she eats. That
Yeah.
could pass
An
the time.
activity. Did you guys do I feel like someone did that during one of the leopard talks once. I don't know if it was either of you, but it was like, it wasn't that question. It was like, can you guess? Can you guess how many?
Right? Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So we do have the video up and it's we have okay, let's get that question before we get distracted by the cuteness. Ajax is a shy eater, question mark. Someone asked in the chat. Say she's pretty shy?
I don't know that she's a shy eater, but she will take food someplace that's comfortable.
Mm-mm.
So that's
I
tends
feel
to be
that.
somewhere high.
Yeah.
Not
Relatable.
at all.
All right. Well, guys, at long last, I know it's kind of like one of those snip, snap back and forth moments, but we do have the video that we were gasping about earlier, and it is this one. It's so cute.
oh my gosh, take me back.
The early
These
days.
were the best. Oh, like honestly, my heart is so full right now. She was she's still a lot of fun, but it was so much fun being in that phase.
Mm-hmm.
Such a
I
little
love
red
watching
thing.
her slowly stand up and then
Yeah.
bounce
Yeah, she
down.
looks like our red panda. Our red panda is just now starting
Oh
to like
yeah.
come into his own and do
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
very red panda of her.
Yeah,
Hard to
it
take on
is.
just like her.
She's channeling her inner red panda.
Oh my gosh, look at Ajax's belly. She's still just post postpartum right there. Like she's got when she stands up, if you watch her belly, it just sways back back and forth. Yep, there it is. The pinnacle.
Oh.
And at that point in time, so Ajax, I believe she was still nursing from Ajax. So we um we were still supplementing Ajax with extra diet to be able to produce enough milk for Miss Marta. And so she was a hefty gal
Sure
at
was.
that time because it's natural. You want to make sure that she can feed her child, but that means that she has to eat more. And so
Mm.
um, just looking and seeing how much she looks like she had her mom figure, her
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful mom figure.
Yeah. It's, it's so funny. Like I keep glancing between the baby video and then back over to Ajax on the live camera, just chowing.
Uh huh.
different things. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
glad we were able to
and
get
this
that video
behavior is kind of
working.
fun because it's, kind of like Courtney mentioned, she's learning from
Mm,
Ajax in this moment,
mm.
how to pounce, how to, uh, you know, I don't wanna say fight, but, fight, like, and then she's instantly pinned. But, these are important skills for her to know, um, as she got older, so it's just fun to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. I know exactly what you mean in the chat about how like a word gets like it's almost there and you cannot remember what the word actually is and then you say the wrong word and then you remember. And said, "Oh, Miss Marta prancing onto Ajax and then said pounce. That was the word." I do that all the time.
Joe will sometimes he's like you said, he's a bird keeper at
Mhm,
heart, like,
mhm.
he's an everything keeper now, but so what do you say all the time, Joe, about cats? What are they they're not born, what are they?
No, everything hatches.
Yeah, everything hatches.
That's what comes.
They're hatched, so, it's fine, it's okay. Prance, pounce, we don't even
We don't.
blink twice at that.
No.
Yeah, yeah. It's all good here.
We accept all kinds of words here because we say it all the time.
Absolutely. You're welcome, you're welcome.
Yeah,
And, you know, with that, I'm really glad that video, we got that video on because it's such a nice way to kind of wrap this up. But as
yeah,
I
thanks,
mentioned at the
Aaron,
beginning of this,
that was
yes,
good.
yeah. Thank you, Aaron, working the magic. Um, as we've mentioned before, this series was called Keepers React. We did three little trial tests, and I know that we had some troubleshooting or magic behind the scenes, as we call it. But that's why these were all test talks. But if you guys really like these talks, really like the format, we're going to continue fine tuning this and keeping it on the schedule. More clips. More talks, everything. So at the end of this, there's going to be a little rating box. It's going to pop up. Make sure you stick around for that and give us a star rating. And like I requested, if you could please on this rating, I'll just go ahead and wrap this up in case there are any other technical issues. But yes, please leave a rating. And as